Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a quick flip through of the sketches I did from December 2025 to January 2026. So about 1 month of sketches in total. I have quite a bit to talk about, so let's get right into it. Over the past little while, I've been studying artists like Kim Jung-gi, Bruce Timm, and some art Twitter artists that I really admire the style of. This video will be talking about my thoughts and just a general documentation of what I learned or think I could have done differently to quickly improve in a more efficient manner. So quick backstory, I've been drawing for quite a long time, but I've never really seen much improvement at all in the years I've been drawing. It's been a long overarching question because art is something that is pursued for either enjoyment or as a profession, and I had neither the artistic talent or the discipline required to see the progress in order to make it as a professional. It may just be the laziness or maybe just wrong instruction, but art has always seemed to be an impossible endeavor for me that I could never see the light at the end of the tunnel of. I'm hoping this video could give some insight on how not to make the same mistakes I did, as I'm showing as I'm flipping through these sketches as I did for the month of December. So as you can see, these sketches are just a random compilation of art from artists that I either had an inspiration for or tried to copy the style of. I've always been fond of the anime style when I was younger, and I've always wanted to draw in the appealing ways that anime tends to strike the viewer. But as I grew older, I started to look up to more artists like Bruce Timm and Shane Glines just because of the pure simplicity of their line work and how a Western style could also be very much appealing in its own right. So I started copying and studying these artists tirelessly, trying to copy and retain as much information as I could while I was doing so. So after a month of copying, I got a little burnt out, and I tried to go back to my own anime-influenced style, and to my dismay realized I couldn't produce this style in the same way I used to. It just felt like a major downgrade and led me want to quit art altogether. It made me think that the whole month of copying these artists had been in vain. Out of pure stubbornness, I kept trying to recreate the anime style of Twitter artists that I compiled the drawings of, and drawing after drawing, it just kept frustrating me to the point where I couldn't help but realize I had lost the ability to produce these drawings as I had in my original style. I kept trying to recreate and reproduce these drawings again, but they just would not come out in the way that I wanted them to. You'd think that studying other artists would help enhance your own style by adding elements of things you like from the artist to your own. However, the anatomy, face, and line work all just ended up being a jumbled mush, and I was left with the same super flat anime frontal head that I'm all so familiar with. So in my frustration, I just couldn't help but go back to the drawing style I had been practicing for 1 month, and did a few sketches here and there of figures, and noticed I had still maybe retained some of the line work or hand control I had obtained from the month of studying people like Bruce Timm, and thought, oh, I might as well just continue this then. So eventually I stumbled upon a drawing that I kind of liked, and I feel like a drawing that I like always sort of happens when I'm lost and I really don't care about the result anymore, because my pride has been thrown in the gutter due to all the recent bad drawings I've produced. So anyways, as I was drawing this drawing, I realized I was paying a lot more attention to the way the light works, like for example, all the fine details, shading, etc. I'd always drawn with a stiff hand, gripping my pencil really hard because it just felt cooler to do so. However, I slowly began to realize sketching in a very soft way with a loose wrist, then going over the line again and again in a more confident stroke is what really helps with line efficiency. So many people out there say you need clean lines, draw with a pen, no mistakes, no errors, and no erasing. But I find you really have to do what works for you. And to me, I figured that holding the pencil with a loose grip and really paying attention to the fine details of the reference and putting down a soft line and going over it with a more permanent, confident line is what really helps with line accuracy and confidence. Following this with incorporating the whole page with a single drawing instead of having many small drawings scattered here and there you have a masterpiece. So much of the time you want to save paper and fit in all these drawings here and there really is no need for that. You just, use the whole paper instead of just putting all these small drawings there in the corner and stuff. So some afterthoughts of what I think about the whole month-long journey is that I think copying and studying artists is fine, and it is something that is required for you to develop and mature your own style of drawing. I'm not sure of it yet, but I do think copying from reference enough times will develop your skills of drawing from imagination. I mean, it has to, right? Although I do think that this only works when you study studiously from a single reference piece for a while and kind of memorize all the lines just from doing it enough times. This is just pure rote memorization, however, and it is an impressive skill to show your friends or in a party or some place, but I think the longer lasting benefits come with a more deeper understanding of the core concepts of art. All in all, drawing from reference is important, and just purely drawing from imagination all the time isn't really helpful. And I feel it has led me to develop a very stiff, one-sided, flat image of the style I've grown so familiar with. Furthermore, observing art that you like and are inspired by and understanding the decision someone makes and why they put the stroke here rather than there, and why they make this part darker, and why they curve a line here or cut a line there, combined with the draftsmanship and skill from a steady artistic hand that is acquired through many consistent years of dedicated focused practice, I think is what makes for a consistent and appealing art style. I would also like to add that really finding an art style you look up to is almost like an art hack, dare I say the word. For me, in times of distress and times where I just wanted to poke my eyeball out with a pencil, just having the comfort of coming back to an art style I enjoy is what really helps me to stay on course. Okay, last thing I want to add is that I think drawing in an ASMR painterly way, where the lines just blend in with the paper and kind of, um, have a really smooth feeling, no hard stiff lines that look confident and powerful, and the time for a more soft approach is where you can really feel the graphite blending in with the. I don't know what I wrote. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna record this again. I'm just gonna go on with it. But okay. So yeah, there it is. I hope this video is helpful and gives some insight to the people starting out on their artistic journey. Thanks for watching. And there is 3 more minutes left where I can just talk, I guess. That was the end of my script, so as I'm looking at these drawings right now, I guess, oh yeah, I was at the phase of drawing the Bruce Timm influence. So yeah, a lot of pinups, I guess. And I'd like to reiterate, like, a lot of the things I said. I feel like most of the things I say are, well, should be taken with a grain of salt, because I'm really sort of a beginner artist. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I do not think I'm really good at art at all. So I just want to, like, kind of share my experiences to people starting out, and hopefully I don't know, can shine some experience and advice to people that kind of start out, so they don't make the same year-long mistakes I did. But anyways, yeah, more Bruce Timm sketches. I think we're almost at the end. So yeah, this is from January 1st to December 30th. So I think I probably marked the end. Yeah. This is another, oh no, never mind. Yeah, those drawings right there were from like a manga called Alice. I forget what it's called, but yeah, back to more drawings. I think this is more manga inspired drawings. Yeah, almost at the end here. Some more Bruce Timm figures. More Bruce Timm figures. Some manga style. I think a lot of the time, like, when I'm drawing, like, the faces are really inconsistent, because I don't know, like, yeah, like right there, it's just terrible. Like, it's awful. Like, I don't have a steady hand, so I can't really draw like other people. Always shaking. Not really good. So nearing the end here, more Bruce Timm sketches. Bruce Timm figures. Yep, I think this is like the last few days of the month. Yep. There it is. Finally. Sorry for making this cringy voiceover, but I hope it helps a lot of the people watching that are starting out in art. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.